Joining us now is Citizen Kane from Citizen Free Press. So much to go over. Mr. Kane, welcome to the program. How are we doing?
Doing great, Charlie. I'm going to file an official complaint, though. I think we forgot it's Thanksgiving week, and we're not supposed to work this hard.
Oh, I have not stopped since January of 2021. And these last couple weeks, I've been working my tail off, just trying to help with transition and stuff here in Palm Beach. It is nonstop, Kane. Nonstop, literally. And we're doing the best we can. And Kane, you got to shut down the website on Thanksgiving. You just got to say no posting. Enjoy some turkey, Kane. You have earned it, and we won, Mr. Kane. Still, it has not hit.
Yeah, people don't realize it's only been 3 weeks because we get off. You celebrate for about 2 hours, and then you figure out what you have to do next. And for you, that was heading to Palm Beach. I know, readers or listeners probably know from our previous discussions that sometimes I text you late at night. So I forgot that Charlie wasn't in Arizona on Friday, and I think I texted him around 2 a.m., and he was probably dead asleep in Palm Beach because he's been working down there. There will be no shutdown of the stack, though, Charlie. It's going to be 8 years every single day for 8 years in May.
Amazing.
So there will probably be 100. If people are bored on Thanksgiving Day, there will be 100 new headlines in the stack. I'll figure out how to do it.
I love it. So, Kane, let's go through some of the top news items here. People are overwhelmingly approving of the Trump transition. This has been a top story at citizenfreepress.com. Kane, walk us through it.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. I posted that yesterday afternoon and moved it back to the stack here to the top of the stack about 30 minutes ago. There haven't been many polls on the sort of post-transit, the transition effort. Obviously, all the pollsters, at least the mainstream ones, are in shock that once again, Trump was +3 or +4 compared to their numbers, and they've all stayed quiet. But we had a Harvard-Harris poll last week, which I'm sure you saw in the stack, that showed him at 54% approval in the transition. And that story is still in there. If people want to search for Harvard-Harris, there's a lot of good data in that poll about sort of exit poll data that hasn't been covered everywhere else. But regarding the CBS poll, 59% approve of the Trump transition and approve of his cabinet picks versus only 41% disapproval. So that's a really good number, especially coming from CBS, because there's going to be some distortion in who they contact, and likely contact more Democrats for that. So, you and I and Andrew, and we're all buried in the weeds every day, right, of the transition, going through every step. And we forget to understand that 90% of voters don't pay attention like we do every day. They're not following the twists and turns. And so it's nice to sort of get an upper level view of how this 10% who are committed to news, but the other 90% who aren't paying that much attention, that they have such a positive view of Trump's picks. And I'll close as I throw it back to you. One of the things, obviously, you're part of it, so you're seeing it, but Trump is taking a completely different approach this time. He's realized that it doesn't take a brain surgeon. No offense to Dr. Ben Carson. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to run these cabinet agencies. And what is more important for the success of MAGA is that loyalty and people who believe in MAGA completely and haven't been brought in like they were in 2016 by Reince Priebus. These are people who are loyalists to Trump, and it's going to make the first 2 years, the whole 4 years, really, really smooth.
Yeah, and I'll just say this, Kane, that the team that Trump has around him, let's just go to the picks, Kane. Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth. Could we have dreamed of such a good cabinet, Mr. Kane?
Never. I didn't give myself enough time to really think about who was coming other than the big picks, but I've been blown away almost every single day. And names that aren't even talked about, people inside the CDC. We still don't have anyone running NIH. There's been a rumor that the Great Barrington Declaration, Dr. J from Stanford, is being considered for that. So there's just, and then COVID truth teller, Dr. Marty Makary from Johns Hopkins. running the FDA. So it's really been the most interesting transition that and the most exciting transition that I've ever witnessed. I'm a bit older. I've seen a lot of these, and it's the excitement over Kennedy the excitement over Kennedy is sort of its own thing. Like, you see so many independents and Democrats involved, and so many people who are fed up with big pharma, and it's just incredibly exciting. There's been no experience for me before like these last 3 weeks, and inauguration can't get here soon enough. We really can't wait to see this Trump team in action. And I'm pumped, dude. I'm absolutely pumped.
Yeah. So Kane, I want to go through also this element here. And what do you think is the likelihood of all of these picks being confirmed? Let's go one by one. Bobby, Tulsi, Hegseth, the three more lively ones.
Okay. I think Kennedy all of these hearings are going to be really, 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 really tough. What people forget, remember how all the certain hearings, especially the Jeff Sessions hearing in 2017, they were broadcast on daytime television. ABC, CBS, and NBC, they all suspended, remember, for hours. And I think we're going to see the same thing. This isn't just going to be on cable news. That for Kennedy, for Pete Hegseth, for Tulsi, for those names, this is going to be a show. And Democrats, the resistance is going to try to do everything they can, and it's going to be ugly. But I believe they're going to be confirmed. All three. I think Kennedy's going to get it. I think Tulsi's going to get it, and Hegseth, I really believe, is going to be the toughest one. I'm not sure if that's
why do you
obvious
think
to
that?
people.
Why is that just because of all the alleged personal drama? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The personal stuff. I just think that's going to make the most compelling television for Democrats, and you're going to have Mazie Hirono, who's already let everyone know that it's not going to happen over her dead body. I still think that Trump has the capital to get Hegseth.
Hold that thought.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's play cut 4. Senator Rand Paul on Pete Hegseth. Play cut 4.
Given that, for example, the Pentagon pick hasn't ever managed a large corporation or held a high rank in the military, do you think he can run the Pentagon?
Yes, and I think the vast majority of people, if you poll them, will say that they don't think people should be picked based on religion or gender or sexuality. They want people to be picked on merit. And one of Pete Hegseth's criticisms of our Pentagon is that we've gone away from merit and gone more towards racial characteristics. And so I think that the people are and would be overwhelmingly in favor of someone who's going to base hiring on merit, not on racial characteristics.
Kane, that's a great answer from Senator Rand Paul. It's going to be a fight, though. It's going to be a fight. I now want to play this one about Tulsi and then get your reaction. This is Nikki Haley coming out against Tulsi Gabbard at DNI. This is a sick lie from the pit of hell. Play cut 7.
This is not a place for a Russian, Iranian, Syrian, Chinese sympathizer. DNI has to analyze real threats. Are we comfortable with someone like that at the top of our national intelligence agency?
Kane, your reaction to Miss Haley?
Yeah, does anyone listen to Nikki Haley anymore? Except for CBS News, except for the fake media? They trot her out. She's the new Liz Cheney. That's insane. It shows that Nikki Haley follows fake news and doesn't follow stories out. Every Syrian sympathizer, that's a ridiculous comment. Or Bashar al-Assad sympathizer, that's a ridiculous comment. I honestly don't believe Nikki Haley has credibility. I think Tulsi Gabbard, it's not going to be an easy sale, but I think she's going to make it through. When you were talking about, you played that clip on Hegseth, and that was a nice comment from Rand Paul. Look, we may lose Murkowski. We may lose Susan Collins, but we've got 51 plus J.D. Vance after those two. So though it's going to be brutal, though it's going to be on national TV, and it's going to be tough for Pete to have to deal with this stuff, But I think that Trump has the political capital. I think the senators understand. One of the points we've been driving home is that these senators in red states did not win on their own. They won on the coattails of Trump, coattails that we almost haven't seen before. I mean, Trump, even in Ohio and Bernie Moreno, Trump was +5 over how Bernie did versus Sherrod Brown. I mean, all of these senators, they owe their elections that they've had in the past and the ones that they may have in 2026 with the new map, that they're going to owe it to President Trump. And so I honestly believe he has the capital to get all three of them through. But going back to Nikki, you know, that comment should be a disqualifying comment for anyone to take her seriously on any foreign policy.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know who takes her seriously too, but they're continuing to peddle this Russian hoax against Tulsi Gabbard. And I think it's very important to note that Hillary Clinton lied about Trump being a Russian agent, and now they're lying about Tulsi Gabbard being a Russian agent. I think she's going to have a tough confirmation fight too, Kane. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that some of these neocons are not going to like that Tulsi Gabbard's going to be DNI director. But what is your message then to Kane? What is the CFP message to Republicans, I should say, that might stand in the way of Trump's picks?
We'll find primary opponents and we'll throw you out of office. We want this cabinet. Do not stand in the president's way. The first Republican to get the popular vote victory since Bush, I believe. And it's so much more difficult than it was for Bush. I mean, Trump's performance, his ability to grow his electorate from 2016 to 2020, and now with another 4 million more votes in 2024, I think Republican senators have to understand we are paying attention. We will get rid of you, and we won't show mercy.
All right, Kane, I want to ask you about the state of the Democrat Party. What can we expect next? Because the communists, they're coming back. They're going to march forward. They're going to try to subvert. They're going to try to attack. You read the news more so than even me, Mr. Kane, and you internalize it. And Kane deserves so much credit. He deserves so much credit because he saw all the indictments, the lawfare, and the Trump win ahead of anybody else. Kane, what is the next move from the enemy?
Yeah, those are kind words, Charlie. You know, I wanted to add from my previous answer before I get to the Democrat Party. You were asking about the message that we need to send to senators who might be standing in the way. And I forgot to mention a huge thing that TP, you and Turning Point have announced. You know, I want people to be prepared. Charlie talked about the biggest outside tour that Turning Point has ever done to put pressure in red states on senators who might be thinking about voting against Trump nominees. So I want certain senators to keep that in mind, that, you know, what Turning Point has been able to build, and as well as your TV show and War Room and Citizen Free Press and all of the conservative ecosystem, we've been able to build an army of our own activists in a sense. And it's not the same old Republican Party. And if you don't do what President Trump wants, then we're going to put this army into action, and we're going to make your life and your job difficult. So I want these Republican senators to remember that. So as we look at the Democrat Party, if you wanted to add something there, you can interrupt me. But
no, keep going.
As we look at the Democrat Party, there's a story near the top of the stack today where Kamala is already telling her staff not to stray too far, because she's not ruling out a run again in 2028, where again she will probably be the first candidate removed after or to drop out after the Iowa primary. People probably remember it was the great irony of Kamala being installed in the post-Biden coup, is that she was the first, actually the least popular Democrat candidate. But she's telling her staff, don't stray far. I may still run again. And if not, I may run to replace Gavin Newsom as governor of California. And that would be obviously delicious irony, especially if he were to become the Democrat nominee in 2028. The party's going to regroup, as you know. What I think's exciting is this idea, right? You always lose the first midterm of a new presidency. So let's make our goal for the next 2 years to not allow that to happen. You guys, I watched your crew did a thing a couple of weeks ago on the 2026 map. And it actually, even though Republicans have more states to defend than Democrats, it actually looks pretty good for Republicans. And I think we may even gain a seat or two in the Senate in 2026. The House will be a
it's
battle.
not as bad as people think, actually. It's not as bad as people think. It really isn't.
Yeah,
Because
I
of
agree.
the gains we made in 2024, Senator Daines is saying that we very well might control the Senate for a decade.
And that would be fantastic. I mean, imagine taking our lead from 53 to 55 next time. So the battle will probably be in the House. But I think, you and I we're both sports guys. We like goals. We like to work towards something. And so I'd like us to work towards not losing the House and gaining more in the House, so that Trump's second 2 years can be a continuation of the blitzkrieg of these first 2 years. But kind of wrapping up your question, it's likely Shapiro or Gavin Newsom. Those names sort of rise to the top. The Democrat Party is not dead. We only won by 1% or 2% in all these swing states, and we won because of turnout. Let's not forget, this was sort of a validation of everything that Turning Point worked on, and getting, outsourcing the RNC, not handling the get out the vote efforts, and pushing that off on outside organizations like TP. And we came through, Charlie. You did it. People don't really understand. In fact, I've never really even talked to you about this, but your butt was on the line to a certain extent in this election. You had made some, with your youthful Midwest energy, you made some big promises, and brother, you delivered. Turning Point delivered. We did this. Scott Pressler delivered. So I'll throw it back with that. The Democrats can recoup all they want. Yeah,
that's
go ahead.
Right. Well, we're out of time, Kane, and you had our back 100%. And the whole ecosystem of media doubted us, and they were setting us up for failure. Turns out we shocked the world. And by the way, where are all the exposing stories of Kamala Harris's fake ground game? Oh, it doesn't exist. Got it. Well,
Right.
We chased the historic number of ballots. We were able to chase low propensity voters, register them, and win the youth vote in some of the battleground states. Kane, God bless you. Thank you so much.